Hey, how's it going? So, ML Roana just dropped, and well, as you can see from this, I'm only missing two ML5s. But, after a lot of thought, I thought that I would compile everything that I've been thinking about and that I've seen and talk about it. So, last night she came out, and I tried pulling for her, didn't get her. I think a lot of other people tried to pull for her, but a lot of people were really on the fence, like, do I want this unit? How am I going to use them, etc. I went into RTA, and I didn't really see much of her either. Nobody even wanted to try her out. She is actually just that rare. And after thinking about it a lot, I don't think that she's very good. Even without other people testing her and without myself using her, just thinking about how she works is awkward as hell. Nobody has any faith in her, and the people that I've heard that have tried her are just like, how are you actually supposed to make this character work? So the big thing is that her S2 makes it so that her speed is halved, but every time the front unit in your team gets a turn, she gets a turn. So that's really cool, but makes it so that she has a base speed of, 108? Yeah, so she has 54 base speed, basically. You don't want to build any speed on her. But also, this skill and this skill can't crit, so you don't build crit on her either, so you just build attack, and maybe defenses, effectiveness, FRES. Those are the only stats that are actually applicable to her. But then you think about how she works, and it's like, okay, this scales off of attack. You do extra damage based on the attack. This skill pierces through defense, and it increases the damage each time, so you just want to stack attack on her, right? But you also probably want effectiveness, so that this is actually able to increase their cooldowns and push them back. So those are probably the two main stats. Maybe you build a bit of tankiness on her if you want to build her in like a bruiser type team. Like maybe you have a slow team where she's ramping up and constantly for S3, her front unit a little bit faster possibly. Or maybe use her in a cleave team where you build zero defenses at all and you just build as much attack as possible with a little bit of extra effectiveness with your extra stats. After looking at how both of those would kind of work, I don't really see that there is much potential in either. I looked at the damage calculator with her numbers, and best case scenario with like all attack gear, nothing else, like if I'm just trying to focus attack on her S3, I'm able to get it to like 5,000 damage or something on the first S3, and then if you give attack buff 7,000, which, hey, that actually hits pretty hard. But she feels like a win more character to me. What that means is basically you're already winning the draft, you're already doing really well, you don't really need something like Roana on your team. It's kind of like, I have already oppressed my opponent, I'm already stripping all of their buffs turn 1, because without stripping the buffs, this doesn't even decrease their cooldowns to push them back, so because she doesn't strip. So you have to have a first turn strip, and you probably outsped your opponent as well. And Roana goes after, which is cool, but like, it's probably better just to get a better combo piece, like someone like, let's say, ML Pavel or, you know, Jacko or something like that. A character that actually just completely destroys the opponent's team and just kills their units is probably a lot more important than someone like Requiem Roana. She's also weak to things like Aiden, for instance. She's not good versus something like that. If she does too much damage, someone like Karina will proc, etc. Although, what's kind of cool about her is she might actually be good versus characters like Karina, since you're able to push them back and increase their cooldown, so even if she procs, that could be really useful. But I just think as a whole, it's like, where do you truly want to use this unit? And some people say like, oh, it's kind of like Lua. Well, it's Lua with like a crazy amount of setup for a unit that is kind of one and done. Like Lua would normally take multiple turns throughout the battle, be able to be utilized constantly. You can first pick her and she'll be useful. Someone like Roana, feels like you need a whole team around her to really be able to utilize her, and then she seems kind of subpar. In what kind of world are you going to get 3 stacks of this, for instance? Who's going to let you use Eternal Lament like 3 times, right? And you could say, well, I use her in a super slow battle, and that's where Eternal Lament's really good. Well, I mean, characters like Landy and injury characters and other stuff like that are probably going to ramp up faster and be more useful. Like someone like Death Dealer Ray, he's probably going to be able to use his S3 like twice at least before she's able to get a few stacks. And I think that's just infinitely more useful. She does have some cool combos with someone like Flitica, because Flitica S2s doesn't actually get an extra turn, she gets 100% combat readiness. And then Requiem Roana would push up. Or someone like Command Model Leica or whatever. No, whatever it's called. Architect Leica, that's her. Yeah, characters that give 100% CR to themselves, but not an extra turn, will make it so that Roana gets 2 turns in a row, which is cool. I heard an idea that Sage bounces on in the front unit. You never use his S2 when you build him full tank, and he'll just keep taking turns pushing her up. That's kind of cool too. These are cool ideas, but none of them seem to really hold water. The character seems awkward as hell. I wanted to pull for her, but I can't really justify me spending like $200 right now trying to pull a unit that I think is bad, and she might get buffed, but I just don't really see the point, and I feel like other people are feeling the same. A lot of people are like, wow, love the design, but what am I going to use this character for? It feels as though she's just much too weak. I mean, we'll see in the coming days, but I really doubt that people are going to find out, oh, secret OP build for Roana. She's actually incredible. And if that happens, hey, I'll eat my words and I'll make some sort of update saying that, but I really don't think that that's possible. I think that the people pulling for her should only pull because they really like her design, or they're gamblers and they really think that, oh, she's 100% going to get buffed. 100%. Then you look at someone like Twist Idol and Kayron, and it's like, oh, well, he's terrible and he hasn't been buffed yet either. So, you know, don't hit your bets too hard. Be careful. But all in all, I would recommend people don't really pull. I don't really think that you're going to get a whole lot out of her. She's cool, but she's just too jank to work. They did an experimental, interesting skill set, but it just didn't end up working in the end. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I don't have any clips of her gameplay because nobody wants to use her. It's actually the same as Kayron. I've only ever seen 2 of him in RTA this whole time since he's come out. It's been months. So I don't actually have many examples for her, I'm sorry to say, but that's my take on ML Roana right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.